Hi nurse friends, my name is Nikki and today I'm going to share with you the top 3 actions of nurse empire builders. I'm going to highlight a few things and shine the light on what it takes to build the momentum towards this movement. But first, if we've never met, I'm the creative director of Transform Nursing, an organization with the mission of training nurses globally to confidently address health policy issues, social justice, and health equity. And I have been working on this movement for a little while now. I'm really excited about it because I'm creating a course called the Nurses Influential Leadership Lab, which is coming soon. And it's going to be all about how you can really impact the work that you're doing in nursing. So I use coaching, innovative models. Hi, Michaela. Good to see you on. And Ivy. Live discussion and online coursework to provide you with the tools and resources that you need to make both you and your organization more inclusive and responsive. And I guarantee, as a result of my unique training, you will gain emotional intelligence, improve your work culture, and most importantly, learn the importance of civic engagement, which is being invested in a community, perhaps really different from your own, and developing new knowledge, skills, and values about that community. If you can hear me, hit like. And if you like what I'm saying, then give me a heart or give me a wow. I'm excited about stuff like that. Feel free to leave comments if you think this is beneficial to other nurses and share. Please tag somebody in the comments and let them know that you're watching live right now. So I love to learn more about my audience. So maybe you can just take a moment and let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to hear from you guys. I see Yolanda. Hey, Yolanda. Bevian. Good to see you on. Bevian, I know where you're from. You're from Trinidad and Tobago. She was one of my students before. We got someone from, hey, Yolanda, from Baltimore. I see you guys. Great to see you on. Well, whether you're watching live or a rebroadcast, I will come back on later and view all of your comments and respond. But before we get into our topic, I wanted to quickly shout out not only the season of love, but honor Black History Month and all of the contributions that African Americans have made to this world and to make it great. And I especially wanted to highlight Black Panther. Has anybody actually seen Black Panther yet? Anybody at all? I know that I'm actually going to go see it tonight. I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to see it. According to the Washington Post, Black Panther is expected to gross $175 million this weekend. Yeah, which would tie it for 7th place of all-time greatest movies. I think that's just incredible. Will we get there? I don't know. You're going to see Black Panther, Chico? Awesome. But I hope you get out to see it. I know I'm definitely going to go. It's a revolutionary moment in history, right? And with that being said, I'd like to dive into some revolutionary content. So, what do I mean when I ask, are you an empire builder in nursing? Well, an empire builder is someone who can see and hold a vision for change and then create action that motivates others to pursue vision as well. And building an empire in nursing is creating the spirit of revolution, right? Having a message that's clear and powerful is critical to building that momentum. It's something that you get excited about, whether someone's paying you for it or not, right? Can you think of something that you get excited about as a nurse, whether you get paid for it or not? That's the energy behind your message. I know that I get excited about the work of social justice because I believe that nurses are going to change the way health systems operate by using their voice and position to influence policymakers and healthcare decision makers, and ultimately they will impact patient care greater. My empire message is that social justice is the foundation of nursing, and that by addressing these issues, we can eliminate disparity, chronic illness, poverty, and despair. I mean, I get shivers up my spine just saying things like that. I mean, we're so powerful. We are 3 million strong in this country, the largest group of healthcare professionals, and we have so much power over the way that our patients receive their healthcare. So do you want to feel more empowered to bring your message forth clearly? Great. Well, grab a pen and write down the first secret of being an empire builder. The very first characteristic of a nurse empire builder is they are called upon and noticed for their message, vision, and results, which oftentimes translates into a lot of hard work, right? So do people listen to you when you speak? You have a message if they do. Do you know how to get the attention of influential people? Then you're moving in the right direction. If you want to make a big impact, you need to know how to do this. And I wanted to shout out a good friend of mine, Molly Greenberg, who is one of the leaders for Nurses for Justice Baltimore. And she actually went last week to give testimony at the Maryland Safe Consumption Bill hearing at the Maryland State House in Annapolis, which was all about creating safe spaces for people who use drugs. And she smashed it. So whether you're in nursing school and you're learning about vulnerable populations and you're trying to take that next step, or maybe you're at the bedside and your work culture is one that doesn't really embrace diversity or recognize that there's a multicultural approach to care, and you want to know how you can empower yourself. Or maybe you're a nurse executive. You've been in this game for a long time. 30 plus years you've been working as a leader. You're at that health systems level and you want to increase the level of inclusion and influence. I can share strategies with you, strategies that translate into action. The second characteristic that I'd like to share with you of a nurse empire builder is they are looking for those who can megaphone their message. They're constantly looking for what is coming, what's on the horizon, right? Noticing the trends in healthcare and linking with influencers and connectors. I mean, what do you think about that? I think that's so important to be able to link with other people who actually can move your message forward. So, questions you may want to think about are you watching the political and non-political climate? Are you aware of how trends in healthcare are impacting your message? I know that I recently wrote a position statement for an incident that happened at the University of Maryland Midtown Hospital. And it really touched me because I work in this hospital system as well. And what occurred was a patient was dumped on the street, and it's actually called patient dumping. It's not just something that happened in Baltimore. This happens in a lot of urban hospitals where all over the country, patients that may have mental illness or who use substances or behavioral challenges, they can't keep them or won't keep them in their emergency rooms, and there's really no in-between place for them to go. And so they get dumped on the street. And I felt that it was important to write a message about that and to say something from the position of nursing, that we believe that nurses need to respond and to be more able to react to situations that happen like this and be ready to develop the structures that need to be in place to allow for someone who does have a mental illness or who is dealing with a substance use disorder to have a transitional place to go. So if you're interested in hearing a little bit more about that story, you can find that on my Facebook page at Transform Nursing. When it comes to big issues like social justice and health equity, those things that make or break healthcare that people receive, it takes someone saying something louder, right? It just takes saying something, and then it takes a step-by-step approach to learn about it. I mean, the thing about social justice that makes it hard for a lot of people is it's really abstract. It's really big. And in nursing, we sort of see it as a big picture thing, and things that are that abstract can be very difficult to feel like you can do anything about it. That leaves you feeling unmotivated. It leaves you feel like, oh my gosh, there's nothing that I can do in this situation, even though I came into this profession to be impactful. I came into this profession to be compassionate. I came here so that I could help guide the way patients are actually being brought into these systems. And so what I've done for you, because I think that it's so important and it's something that has worked really well for me, is created a grounded model that's practical. You can apply it to your everyday situations when it comes to social justice, and it helps things become a little bit less challenging. But more importantly, it keeps you motivated. And it keeps your eye on the prize, because that's what's important. When it comes to these conversations about equity and justice, the fight is long, is it not? The fight is hard and the struggle is real, okay? And I know there are times when I tap out too, but I'm here to let you know that if you feel like you're losing motivation, I can help you gain that motivation. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right, the final characteristic that I'm going to share with you today about a nurse empire builder is they are taking action toward addressing their own biases and teaching others to do the same. I'm going to repeat that. They're taking action to address their own biases and teaching others to do the same. Critical. What good is social justice if we don't understand our own biases, right? And when we want to emphasize, the fact that justice is really, really all about how we come and how we approach people in the world and how we think about things. And one thing I want to highlight is that preference there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with saying, I prefer this or over that. And preferences are informed by our culture. They're informed by the way that we've grown up. They're informed by our experiences. What I am trying to say is that issues do come when you're not aware of your preferences and biases, and then patients suffer as a result. That's the true connection here. That's the important thing. So think about, do you need to understand social justice strategies better? Maybe learn a little bit more about health equity, cultural humility maybe. Maybe even explore the social determinants of health. Or the biggie, do you have some type of racial anxiety? These are all things that's okay for us to talk about, and we need to start talking about them. They make people feel kind of funny. They make people feel like, don't really know if I want to talk about race, but we got to. We have to. And maybe it's time for some civic engagement. Oh, great. I'm back. I know I got a little frozen there for a moment, but I'm back. All right. What were we talking about? Sorry, guys. I was moving my phone all over the place trying to find the signal again. So apologies for that. But when we're talking about health equity and cultural humility, sometimes we need to explore a little bit more about the foundations of those things, right? So maybe it's time for civic engagement, to really get in there and learn about a community that's different from your own. Maybe volunteer in a low-income clinic, a faith-based organization. I can tell you, until I started to actually work with patients who are HIV positive and who use substances, I didn't understand that there's so much trauma that is underlying all of these different things that are happening with them. And trauma actually changes the way that the brain responds to things that are happening in one's life. So things that I might respond to, someone who has experienced trauma, hey Michelle, hey Shannon, thanks for being on, may change the way that they think about things. So I just want to conclude by saying that we can do something about social justice as nurses. We can do a lot, and we have a lot to say it. And as the creative director of Transform Nursing, my focus is to teach you the techniques to make those internal shifts from resistance to resilience. I can give you context and strategies towards lessening your own anxiety and fears and apprehension, and really taking those steps to improving positive interactions with clients, especially those who have been traumatized. We can't ignore social justice. We can't ignore that it has a lot to do with race and class, and it impacts the care that we provide. And we need to respond to these high tension issues in healthcare if we want to eliminate disparity, chronic illness, poverty, and despair, which I believe that we really, really can. So I want to quickly recap, especially because I lost connection for a moment with you guys, on those 3 nuggets of Nurse Empire Builders. They are, number 1, Nurse Empire Builders are called upon and noticed for their message, vision, and results. Number 2, Nurse Empire Builders are looking for those who can megaphone their message. They're looking for trends in healthcare. They're constantly watching for what's on the horizon. And number 3, they're taking action towards addressing their own biases and teaching others to do the same. I hope that you learned something new about yourself today and about yourself as a Nurse Empire Builder. Please leave feedback in the comments section. I apologize that the video froze a little bit, but I hope that you got something out of it. And if you want to subscribe to my content, my world, or just get a free PDF version of the top 3 actions of Nurse Empire Builders so that you can share with others, please click on the link that I'm going to leave in the comments section. It's by me, Nikki Akbarawa. And I just hope that you have a great day. Thanks so much for your time, and go out there and be revolutionary. Take care, everybody. Thanks so much.